Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Vonderhaar here. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're talking about yet again another interview that Game Informer has done with David Vonderhaar and all the great details that he got to talk about Blackout. So I hope you guys are ready to go. We have actually a lot of details, and I want to actually thank Charlie Intel. So Charlie Intel posted the video as well as gave a list of all different types of bullet points that they actually talked about in the interview. So if you want to, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. If you guys want to, go ahead and check over at Charlie Intel if you guys want to read anything that I missed during this video as I'm reading through kind of the notes of that video. And definitely check out the video too. It's about 40 minutes long. It's kind of a long video, but if you guys get a chance, definitely check out the video. And we have a lot of stuff to cover in this video and what to look forward to when the game fully releases. So let's get into it. So first off, like I said, I'm going to cover over some of the things that were just sticking out for me, you know, different things that were information from this interview that really stuck out to me. I'm like, oh my God, that's really good info that we get to learn when the game gets released. So here is some of the key information that I got pulled out of it, as well as from the bullet points that Charlie Intel covered over this interview. So first off, let's talk about player count. So yeah, David Vonderhaar was talking about how, you know, he wants 100 people, 100 players to be the end goal for, you know, what he wants to see in Blackout. Right now, during the beta, it was 80, 88, and then at the very end, the last 2 hours, it was 100, and that he says he's reinforcing that is the goal of what he wants to see in Blackout. Now, I do imagine when the game gets fully released, I imagine it's going to go back to 80, maybe 88, and then maybe into 100 once the game releases and you're getting more players in, they're testing out the servers, and I imagine that's going to be the case. But he also talked about maybe for special events or maybe just in general that you actually increase the player count to like 115, 120, whatever, just trying to make as many players as possible into a game. And to me, that's very exciting. That's very exciting. I would love to see so many more players in the Battle Royale scene as well as into this game. Again, I think everybody really enjoyed their time in Blackout. I think the best thing they could do is just throw so many more people in there. Make it more unique than Fortnite. Make it more unique than PUBG. Increase the player count. Get more people in there. And I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with the increase in player count. The next thing was, and then I thought that was kind of funny. So, you know, being that person playing on Xbox, on my Xbox S. I don't have the X version of the Xbox One, so I was playing on my Xbox S, and I found that the graphics were like kind of mediocre. They weren't that great. So actually, one of the things he talked about was Blackout is actually optimized for the PS4, just the regular one, not the Pro version, just the regular PS4. So I did kind of get a chuckle at this one. I'm like, oh man, yeah, no wonder why Xbox version was really bad. The next thing they talked about was they are going to be increasing how many skins there are actually in the game. We got kind of a little teaser, I guess, of kind of, you know, what we get to look forward to when it comes to skins. We got a lot of the specialists from, you know, the actual Black Ops 4 game. They talked about recently that they're going to be adding new specialists to the game. So that's another thing that, you know, not only are they adding new specialists into Black Ops 4 in the multiplayer, but they're also going to be including them into the skins of Blackout. So we also got to see zombie skins. We got to see some classic Black Ops skins. So it's kind of cool to know that they're going to continue on adding to what we actually already have and what we've seen in the Blackout beta. So that's really cool. Another thing that they're going to talk about is we've only seen a handful of the weapons. So from the multiplayer beta to the Blackout beta, we've only seen a handful of some of the guns that they actually have in the game. Vonderhaar was talking about how we are going to see a lot more guns in the multiplayer, and they are going to make their way into the Blackout. So this is the one thing I was very excited about, because not only do we have guns from the multiplayer, but we also have guns from classic Call of Duties. We have, you know, the zombie guns that you can get, the laser gun, you get the MP40, all these different types of guns you can get in the game. And I really do want to know is, you know, what classic guns are we going to get to look forward to in Blackout? And man, there's just so many different ways of expanding, and not only with skins, but as weapons as well, and different, you know, possible weapon camos and stuff like that. Ways, just like in PUBG, where you can actually customize what your weapon skin looks like. It'd be really cool to do the same thing in Call of Duty, and I do feel like in Blackout they can do that exact same thing and be just as successful. Now, the next topic was talked about was the armor. Now, I know that is a very hot button issue. Everybody has a different opinion on when it comes to armor in Blackout, and I definitely have my own opinion on how I would like to do things, at least for body armor, and that way, you know, you would be able to implement a little bit more things into not only Blackout, but in the multiplayer, but I'll kind of get into a different video with that. But they talked about how, you know what, maybe instead of just, you know, having the body armor as something that, you know, it gets a couple of shots in, it breaks, it shatters, and you never get to see it again, what if it's something that where you actually equip it, it gives you a certain percentage of damage mitigation. That way you can actually use it through the entire round of a Blackout match. Now, I do actually like that. I think that's actually a really cool premise. I would love to test it and see what it's like, you know, depending on if you get, you know, level 1, which is like maybe 5%, or you get level 2 and that's 10%, and level 3 is 15, whatever it is. I think it would be really cool to see that, and you would actually have a different progression of, you know, wanting to look for different armor. You wouldn't have to worry about losing your armor all the time and always trying to hunt down for a new one. So I like this idea. I like the concept of it. I would love to see some type of test done with it, but I do really think, at least for Vonderhaar giving that idea, I think that's a really cool idea, and I'd love to see what they would actually have in store for the Blackout mode. The next two things that they talked about I thought were very interesting. Now, they are continuing on with different types of fixes for audios and different additions that they can add to audios. The one thing I actually do want to know, and they were kind of talking about it a little bit, but I wasn't clarified enough, at least for me, what they were talking about, but I do want to know if there is a way to actually switch on to where there's audio for your character to kind of talk about and give callouts. I know, at least for the one thing that I've kind of noticed, at least for randoms that are actually in your game, they have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what's happening, and I know at least in the multiplayer there are some callouts every now and then on, you know, hey, this person's over here, I'm getting shot over here, you know, different callouts in the multiplayer where if people are random on your team, they don't know they're not talking to you, and I want to know if that's going to be an implementation into Blackout for people that are randomly selected. If you're like a party of 3 and you get into a quad and you get this random person, he has no idea what's going on unless you invite him into your party or you're talking to him. So I want to know if that would actually be a thing that they would be working on with audio wise to be able to help out random people on your team. But at least they've talked about different ways of fixing audio with footsteps, gunfire, and stuff like that, and I'm very excited for that because I did have some problems in the beta with, I was like, my god, man, people's footsteps are crazy. Everybody has standard issued clogs on, you can hear them a mile away, and I'm happy to see that they've kind of talked about that, and they are going to fix that when the game finally releases. Another thing they talked about was the ammo pickup. They kind of threw around the idea of maybe it just being a thing you just kind of walk around and you automatically pick it up. Vonderhaar talked about how, you know, that would be a resource that people would just not care about. People wouldn't care about, you know, picking up ammo or walking by ammo, and it would have no meaning whatsoever to the players. And I kind of understand that. You know, when you're actually picking up ammo, you kind of care about what you're picking up. You know, if you have an AR and a sniper rifle, you're not really intending on picking up shotgun or pistol ammo or whatever. So I understand where he's coming from, and I really don't have a big problem with the way that ammo is picked up in the game right now. Next up, we have Vonderhaar talking about there will be expansions to this map, or there'll at least be changes to the Blackout map, and I'm very excited about that. I think that is really cool. That one thing that you know, I think will make things fresh for everybody that's playing Blackout, that I think everybody's always been wanting it, you know, and like so Fortnite and then PUBG, you know, PUBG wanted different maps, different locations, and Fortnite, they continued on adding on different locations in their one map, and I do feel like if Blackout goes the way that those games are going, this game is going to be very successful in being able to update it, make it new, make it fresh, so players that are continuing on playing it over and over and over again are not getting bored out and they want to go switch over to another game. Their game is continuing on to change, and it's going to make it very good for new players as well as old players continuing on to play this Blackout mode. The next thing I want to talk about is Vaughn was talking about there is 175 concepts of different events or special internal events that are coming up, and I'm just like, holy shit, like I cannot believe that there is that many things to look forward to in a Black Op game. In Blackout, just alone, oh my god, you've got to be kidding me that this is what we get to look forward to. Different game, I mean, like hell, they've even showed some of that stuff in the beta where there's close quarters game modes. There's different game modes that you can get into that are solo, quad, dubs, whatever it is, and it's cool. I think it's really neat that they're going that route. And I'm very excited for us as players, always having something new to go to, just like with the map, with the game modes, different things, different concept, different events coming up. Any type of way to make this game fresh, any type of way to extend the life of this game mode, I think Vonderhaar and Treyarch are going to do a very good job of it. This is definitely their baby now, and it looks like they are going to do and they're going to take a very good care of this baby that they have created. It's awesome to hear from Vonderhaar talking about how there's different things. One thing I would ask, and I know a lot of people, at least in the Titanfall community, would be excited about this, is what if you had grapples as unlimited weapon equipment? Like, what would that be like? I would love to see something like that. If you can have something like that in this game where you can have grappling non-stop, you can grapple here or there, wherever, and it's not going to run out, I'd be down for that. That'd be badass. I would love to see the fast movement, the fast-paced action of unlimited grappling around, and just, I cannot imagine what this game would be like if something like that was implemented. And finally, for the last big detail that I actually got out of this interview and kind of out of the notes that Charlie Intel kind of put together, was the max level that you can actually achieve in Blackout is 80. That is the max level. There hasn't been any talk whatsoever about prestige. I don't know if it'll be like that in the future. I do imagine that people are going to be grinding this thing out just like in multiplayer. I know a lot of people grind out Fortnite and get max, the max level to unlock different things. And I do imagine Blackout is going to be the exact same way. But they had talked about as well as they are going to try to adjust the different ways that people are ranking up, how fast people can rank up, get levels, and it's going to be really cool to see what is that going to be like. How fast are people going to be ranking up? It seemed like it wasn't that big of a deal to rank up pretty quickly in the beta, but I do imagine they will be making a lot of adjustments, because I don't think they want people to reach up to 80, because they talked about at 80, at the 80th level, there is a granddaddy of prizes along getting up to that level 80, as well as along the way from rank 1 to rank 80. So very excited to see what it is. I wonder if it's different cosmetics, different camos, maybe for weapons. We don't know what it is yet, but we know at least for the leveling, that is as far as it goes. So they also talked about getting up to top 5, top 10, how many kills you get, actually winning the game is how you are going to be leveling up. So that was kind of a cool way to actually find out, what's going to be going on with being able to reach that max level, because I know a lot of people are going to be chasing that when this game finally releases. Well, guys, that's all the big stuff that I wanted to cover in today's video. I know there's a lot of small things. If you actually go up to the different bullets that Charlie Intel made, there's different things like, how many Easter eggs are actually in the Blackout map. I mean, there is a lot from what Vonderhaar talks about in the interview, and it's just funny to know that I imagine when this game finally releases, there is just going to be so many different videos of all the different types of Easter eggs. Hell, actually, in one of my game modes, we actually found one of the Black Ops 1 maps from the campaign actually in Blackout. It actually saved our lives a lot when we were playing the game, so we were very excited that we found that out. But yeah, it's cool stuff like that. It's cool stuff that you get to kind of run up on and you don't know that's actually in the game. And it was cool that we didn't know that was in the game, and it actually intended on saving our lives. And I'll probably post that video before too long. But yeah, man, we have a lot to look forward to with this release. We have a long time to wait now. 3 weeks definitely feels like a long time before this game releases, but it is going to be a lot of fun playing this game, not only with multiplayer and zombies, but Blackout. It will be a blast. And I just can't wait, man. Had a lot of fun. Can't wait to play it again, and can't wait to grind out Blackout with everybody else. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys got a lot of information out of it. There was a lot of information in it. Again, I will post the details in the description below from Charlie Intel, as well as the interview itself, so you guys can go check that out for yourself, and hopefully you guys get a little bit more info, maybe the small details that I missed out in this video. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please drop me a like. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys look forward to for the full release of Black Ops 4. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will see you guys all next time.